You think about the scene in the script, and then you think about the space that you want to shoot it in, whether it's a location or a set.
Yeah! What? Absolutely!
So the director and the production designer and yourself, the cinematographer, talk about that space and the blocking. So then you have to figure, how do you want that scene lit? What's the relationship of the blocking? You have to think then about where the windows are or what kind of light sources you want on the set.
I need a drink.
Or when you look at a location, is there something there you can use? Does that fit the feel of the scene, the mood of the scene, what the scene's trying to depict? So yeah, all these things have to be kind of worked in unison, really. In a way, working on 1917 was a bit more like working with the Coen brothers, where they would really work out quite detailed way how the scene would be. I was thinking of one scene with Javier in the motel room. He's lit by a lamp that's fallen off the table. She had to figure how that lamp was going to fall off the table and how it was going to give a pattern of light that would be a bit noirish. I wanted something really hard so the lamp could fall down and shoot back up at Javier sitting on the bed. So that space was quite hardly lit. And then the bathroom beyond, where there's a body lying, is really bright. And then that was fluorescence, and the whole feel of that is quite cool. So that was all kind of constructed into the set. In 1917, we're in the first bunker, which is lit by these oil lamps.
Lance Corporals Blake and Schofield, sir.
The prop department brought these oil lamps and said, well, these work. They had a whole selection, and they were period oil lamps that they actually got in France. I needed to put 2 bulbs in each lamp because the way we were shooting it, there was nowhere I could put another light source. I put 2 bulbs in line with the camera angle, so the bulb that's facing the camera was always dimmed down, and the bulb facing away was brighter. So there's all these things. It looks like, I hope it looks like it's just a lantern put on a table. But it's not as simple as that. It's like quite a lot of research to figure out how the bulbs could fit in the lamp. You have to rehearse with a dimmer operator to get that whole thing in sync.
Good luck.
I think it was on Sicario. The only lamps that were there were these horrible mercury soft things. So I basically asked the set dresser to make 50 large conical half-circle lights that I could put my own bulbs in. In fact, I put 2K blondes inside the fixture, and there was like 50 of these in the ceiling.
That's the truth.
We had all these wide shots seeing the whole space with a huge crowd of immigrants and the lights at the top of the shot. And I wanted something quite graphic, so I needed that number of lights to create a sort of pattern,
You understand the value of that?
One film we had these little practicals with a nice little diffusion on them made for the set. We were put in the middle of the table, so it lit both characters really nicely. But I felt I wanted to warm it up and soften it down a bit more. So I remember on the close shots, I put a 40-watt bulb on the table, dimmed it way down, but all it was a 40-watt bulb. And I think the actress was quite shocked.
No.
Because they usually use just sort of lamps coming in and all this.
Yes.
I must say, I thought she looked fabulous. I hope she did. Thought she looked fabulous. I did anyway, with this 40-watt bulb.
Where have you taken me? What is this place?
It's a bar.
It's full of cowboys.
I'm a cowboy.
I don't know how you describe what the cinematographer's job is. Cinematography, well, it's simply telling stories with pictures, I suppose.